At the turn of the 20th century, American homes were undergoing a quiet revolution. Gone were the frilly, fussy details of the Victorian era, and in their place came something simpler and warmer, homes built with natural materials and a sense of soul. These were Craftsman homes. And today on Homes Explained, we're digging into Craftsman style, where it came from, what makes it so beloved, and how it helped define the American dream. The Craftsman grew out of the British arts and crafts movement of the late 1800s, and it was considered a response to the industrial mass production. It celebrated skill, craftsmanship, natural materials, and simple, honest design. And in America, these values began to shape not just furniture and decorative arts, but the very homes people live in. A key figure in this movement was Gustav Stickley. He was a local furniture maker and publisher, and he launched the Craftsman magazine in 1901. And while this magazine promoted a whole range of arts and crafts ideals, it consistently explored a clear architectural vision, which was modest homes built with local materials, exposed woodwork, and thoughtful handcrafted details. Stickley published house plans in nearly every issue, offering readers a very practical way to embrace this philosophy, and the homes became so closely associated with his vision that the style itself took the name Craftsman. To make these homes accessible to the masses, many designs were also distributed in pattern books or sold as pre-cut kits by companies like Sears, Roebuck Co, where buyers could actually order a home from a catalogue and receive everything: lumber, nails, doors, windows, even plumbing fixtures, shipped by rail and ready to assemble. Some hired local builders, while others rolled up their sleeves and built it themselves with help from friends and family. It was a very efficient and affordable way to bring thoughtful design to the American middle class. Most early craftsmen were modest in size, with compact layouts and generous front porches, qualities that align with the bungalow form. However, this brings me on to a common point of confusion, because often people think the craftsman and the bungalow are the same and interchangeable, and they're not. A bungalow describes the layout, which is typically one story, boxy, low to the ground, practical, and craftsman refers to the architectural style, namely the use of natural materials, handcrafted woodwork, wide eaves, exposed beams. So while many craftsman homes are bungalows, not all bungalows are craftsman. Hope that clears that up. And also some craftsmen are much larger, like the two-story American four-square. Craftsman homes flourished between 1905 and 1930, especially in growing suburbs across California and the Midwest. They offered charm, practicality, and a sense of individuality that really resonated with a changing American identity. So let's have a look at the key identifying exterior features to help you spot a craftsman home. So number one, craftsman homes typically feature very low-pitched gable or hipped-roofed with wide overhanging eaves. Exposed rafter tails are also often left visible under the roofline, which is a very deliberate design choice that celebrates structure and craftsmanship. So similarly to the prairie home, if you saw my video on that, the very low-pitched wide roof creates a very horizontal emphasis, which helps the home feel very grounded and connected to the landscape and the environment. The second exterior telltale sign that you're looking at craftsman are the thick tapered wooden columns, which typically rest on substantial stone or brick piers. These columns create a sense of stability and strength, anchoring the porch both visually and physically to the home. And they're often paired with broad front steps that reinforce the idea of a welcoming, grounded entrance. Feature number three, another defining feature of the Craftsman, is the deep porch. And these porches were meant to be used. They would often stretch the full width of the house and serve as outdoor living spaces. Built-in benches or planters, very similar with the Prairie House, were common, further blending architecture with function and inviting people to just slow down and connect with their surroundings and environment. Next up are the unique Craftsman style windows, which feature a divided upper sash over a single pane lower sash and are featured with wide trim, and they're often configured in sets of 2 or 3. Now, this kind of handmade unique detailing on these windows really reinforces the originality and authenticity of the whole architectural style. And finally, on the exterior, we have a mix of natural materials. Craftsman homes showcase a variety of natural materials such as wood siding, cedar shingle, river rock, brick and stone. And these materials were used in combination to create contrast and texture. And while low-key and natural and kind of raw looking, the look was also very intentional. Nothing too polished and everything with a human touch. So the outside of the Craftsman certainly sets the tone, but the interior is where the style truly comes to life, because inside these homes reflect the same values as the exterior, that of warmth, craftsmanship and practicality. So let's take a step inside and see the defining details that makes the Craftsman so distinctive. And one of the most iconic features of the Craftsman interior was the extensive use of natural wood. Built-in bookcases, window seats and dining hutches weren't just practical, they were showcases for craftsmanship. This focus on integrated design and natural materials was shared and pioneered by the Prairie School, but in the Craftsman homes, the approach was often warmer and more accessible. The second interior feature were the box beams or exposed ceiling beams. The Craftsman living and dining rooms typically featured very deliberate visual structure in the form of box beams or exposed joints. And remember, it's all about showcasing the construction, not hiding it. So these very heavy beams added a certain heft and interest to the ceilings of the formal rooms. Next up is the open sight lines and room transitions. And while not particularly open by today's standards, Craftsman homes were relatively open for the time, particularly coming off the back of the Victorian style era, which was very compartmentalised in terms of floor plan. So borrowing a concept first seen in prairie style architecture, these homes replaced long corridors and kind of closed off parlours with wide open casings and low colonnades. This allowed for better air circulation, more shared light, and a much stronger connection between living spaces. And it was very much a deliberate move away from the compartmentalised formality of the Victorian interiors and towards a very much more relaxed, informal, livable space. And finally, even the lighting was very thoughtfully designed and part of the Craftsman aesthetic. Fixtures often featured hammered metal, stained glass and mica shades, which are made from thin, translucent mineral sheets which emit a soft amber glow. These warm, handcrafted fixtures reflected the natural arts and crafts vibe and cast a very flattering, cosy light that helped define the mood in each individual room. Though their peak was in the early 20th century, Craftsman homes have never truly gone out of style because their core values of simplicity, quality and connection to nature still deeply resonate with many homeowners today. And while some of the newer styles have borrowed elements from the Craftsman, such as modern farmhouses have taken the tapered columns on piers, or contemporary and modern homes have taken the open sightline interiors, the original Craftsman homes remain unmatched in both character and craftsmanship. More than just an architectural style, Craftsman homes help shape a new idea in America, one where form and function work in harmony and where beauty comes not from ornamentation, but from how well something is made. I hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the Craftsman architectural style. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow. It really helps out my little channel, and I'll see you next time.